I have a cat.
It's true. It's a little cat.
Meow.
Hello, everybody.
Hello!
I know it's been a while since we've done a regular old movie review, but just because, you know.
So chirpy.
It's Doug here.
What?
I said Doug here.
Oh, I heard the It's Allie.
And we are going to be talking about Searching. Searching basically is John Cho. His daughter's gone missing, and he's like, "Where be she? I do not know." And he uses the internet to try and figure it out. And the whole POV of the movie is not a traditional camera setup, but
Guys, not. Oh God.
Okay. The visual structure is interesting because it's not a typical kind of like normal camera setup. Mm-hmm. It's all done like on a computer screen, like basically through media, whether it's on phones or news reports. Almost found footagey, but a little different. It's a kind of a different take on the found footage genre.
It's almost always on a computer. It is. If you watch Modern Family, there was this one episode where everything was either on their phones, iPads, laptops, whatever. It was in the perspective of the camera, of an existing camera in that universe, and that's what we see the movie from.
Won't give away too much, but Ellie, what are your thoughts on Searching?
It is gripping and riveting and wonderful. It is very reminiscent of a book that I read called Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. The situations are different halfway and after, but it does have to do with this whole, I think parents like to have this assumption like, yes, I know my child, but when you're the kid, you know, your parents don't really know you.
Well, I think they do and they don't. And I think that the movie also touches on that a little bit. Is that there are a lot of aspects of your kid that you don't know about because, you know, they keep things from you. There reaches a point in your life where you're not the person that they're going to come to.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, you do kind of know the core of who your child is because you are the one who raised them. You're the one who kind of set their values. And, you know, the movie does actually kind of show a balance of that. It's actually very fair. It's actually a very realistic relationship that was set up between parent and child. And just a heads up, the beginning of the movie, it's very, let's say, without giving too much away, reminiscent of Up by Pixar. The foundational stuff of like the relationship between the father and daughter.
Like and, the montage.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Much like the opening montage is sort of what sets up Carl and like his personal journey up. Sets up. Yeah. A little intro. It's a nice emotional foundation that instantly kind of adds the stakes to the story as it goes. Like it shows everything that I keep wanting to call him John Cho, but let me actually look up what his character's name is. David Kim. It sets up sort of like his relationship with his daughter. Puts on the personal stakes for him throughout the whole movie, and it kind of resonates through the whole film like it should. Like that's just good. That's just good narrative structure, folks. That's just...
A lot of the twists and turns and the drama and having this revelation of certain parts of people's lives. It had parts of Gone Girl. It had a little bit of Criminal Minds kind of thing going on. This was an amalgamation of so many genres, and it just felt so real to life.
You know, that's a good point, in that it actually, the story and its plot points... It is pretty by the book. There's a lot of twists and turns and like red herrings and stuff that you don't necessarily see coming. So it's pretty good about kind of like planting evidence and then like revealing something. It is kind of a by the book story.
Yes.
Inspired clearly by a lot of other things, and perhaps is that the presentation of it is so it sets it so far apart. Like even if it was more traditionally structured, it'd still be like a pretty good like sort of like what happened, who done it kind of thing. But I think it is what really sets it apart is that presentation of it because it's so modern and it feels so fresh.
Yes.
Not that I can think of anywhere, it hasn't really been done like this before.
Not to this scale.
Yeah, exactly.
What's funny is that while at the current moment this movie works so well, it's modern, it's sleek, and they really nailed down how social media works when an event like this happens. And that's the part like, oh, I really appreciate that. But then at the same time, this movie will quickly become very dated.
You know, that's true. Yeah, it will be very dated, but in kind of a nice way in that
Yes.
it'll be a timestamp of like, this is when the movie came out and this is what technology was at that point in time. Because it's, in some ways, it kind of already, and when you're watching the setup of the movie, where, you know, it opened up with like windows of that generation. I want to say, like, it was XP maybe, and then you sort of see how like the technology grew, and
I loved it.
and I don't know about you, but I got this sort of sense of nostalgia from like seeing like, oh, they're opening up MSN Messenger because that was what was big at the time, and so like you get caught up in your own journey as technology has evolved over the last couple decades. Yeah, so that it kind of plays off of that as well, and then becomes, you know, within a certain amount of time, becomes like modern technology. So, yeah, in some ways, it kind of all plays into that, in that it'll probably be just as charming 10 or 20 years down the road, because people are like, yeah, that was what computers were like then. That was it. that was the state of the art at the time. Like, yeah, people just use their phone. They didn't have to plug in the head jack in the back. Anything else you want to touch on?
There's nothing that I can say that isn't going to be a spoiler at this point. I want to keep talking about it. I enjoy this movie so much. I loved the cast. I loved the acting. I loved their choice of how they presented the situation. That's what makes it so fresh and new and really entertaining to see.
I also want to say that, you know, I don't usually see John Cho in leading man roles. And
we should.
I think, yeah, he proves we're here that he's got the chops. I mean, who would have ever thought that the guy who used the term MILF in American Pie would become like that was the actor who's really gonna go places out of that movie.
Wait, he's in American Pie?
That chick's a MILF.
The hell's that?
MILF.
Guys,
MILF.
Yeah, that was where I first saw him. It was even before he was Harold from Harold and Kumar. And I think he peed on somebody's head at some point too. But I love to see him in more stuff. You know, of course he was in Star Trek and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not like he hasn't been working. I'm really happy for him, and I feel like he's, you know, breaking new ground for Asian actors in a time. Actually, right now it's been an exciting year for Asian actors.
I'm so proud.
It's cool that he's helping lead that charge. So,
like, this was a film that I walked into having absolutely no idea what it was going to be about. Like, we just said, like, oh, I want to watch a movie. Doug was the one who chose it. He did explain what it was about, but I wasn't necessarily paying attention because I was doing something.
I didn't really know that much either. I gave a very vague explanation.
This was an amazing movie to just go completely blind into.
I mean, I always recommend going into movies as blind as possible. I love being surprised and letting a story wash over you.
It's a very genuine response that you get from yourself too.
You don't have false expectations. You go in and you're like, all right, movie, do your thing. So, I guess that's it?
Yes.
Cool.
Watch it.
So check out Searching. Highly recommend it. Like, subscribe, give us a digital high five, and comment on what you thought of Searching if you had a chance to see it. If not, definitely check it out. It is still in some theaters, I think, but at the very least, like, it definitely deserves whatever streaming service you want to use when it does come out, or, you know, buy a Blu-ray or something. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Give me a high five. Yeah.